How are you doing today? It is a rainy day in the mountains. It's been raining like all weekend. So I am working in my comfies and I'm doing my makeup later because the holiday season is upon us, right? So I've got so much going on with my family since I am home for the vacation. But I wanted to come on here because I just posted a video talking about how the way to manifest faster is by you to stop thinking the fear-based thoughts. And while there's 1,000,001 manifestation methods out there, if you stopped trying to master all of these methods, if you stopped trying to consume so much information and you just boiled it down to the basics, you know that your mind is creating your reality. You know that your thoughts and your beliefs are creating your reality. So when you stop trying to do all of these things to manifest and you start actually focusing on the one thing that does manifest, your thoughts, your beliefs, you realize that in every situation, there is a fear-based belief and there is a faith-based belief. And I don't mean faith-based like this is synonymous with Christian indoctrination. Religion and faith are not synonymous, right? So if we think about it from a quantum realm, from a scientific lens, that means there's a negative belief and there's a positive belief in every instance. And then there's a plethora and infinite potentialities in between, right? But at the end of the day, what is going to manifest is what you are focusing on all day long, what you are feeling into, what you are talking about. And here's the thing is I teach my clients and my students that what you're focusing on is what you are paying attention to. It is what you are feeding energetically. So if all day long you are focusing on the fear-based thoughts that tell you that you can't have the manifestation, that's what's going to end up manifesting in your life is the reality where you don't have the manifestation. But if you instead stopped giving that much attention, you stopped feeding all of the fear and you started feeding all of the faith, saying, well, why couldn't this happen to me? I see other people manifesting money, manifesting success, manifesting cars, manifesting their dream relationship, manifesting this beautiful life. Why couldn't it happen to me? Instead of just all day long focusing on worst case scenario and focusing on what if it doesn't happen and what if everything goes wrong? What if you just decided to stop doing that? Because the only way you can keep experiencing fear-based thoughts in your mind is if you keep feeding them. You have to realize when we look at this life from a quantum physics realm, the only moment that actually exists is this moment right now. And so in order for the fear-based thoughts to exist in your mind, you have to keep feeding them so that way that story keeps recreating. But if you say, you know what, I'm actually not going to do that anymore, and I'm actually only going to feed the thoughts that I desire to actually experience and that I want to manifest, that's when your entire life will change so quickly. Because you are deciding in the moment that matters, this moment right now, to shift your attention on what you want to manifest, rather than giving all of your time, attention, and energy on the shit that you don't want to manifest. And this is where I see a lot of my clients and students, and I get it because I struggled too with this, really struggle. And it's because you have to realize the matrix that you've been programmed to operate in, this 3D matrix, literally the foundations are in fear. So you have to realize that in order to manifest your dream life, you have to think, live, and be completely differently, like actually the opposite of what you've ever been told. And that takes a lot of conscious effort because we're programmed to be unconscious human beings that are constantly playing out worst case scenario, constantly playing out our fears. And when you decide to manifest your dream life, you have to completely shift this. And this means that anytime you notice the worst case scenario come up, you have to say, okay, that is available. And so is the best case scenario. So what if I don't entertain the worst case? What if I only entertain the best case? What if I decide that this is what I'm available for, is best case scenario only? And anytime I notice that a fear-based thought comes up, I'm just gonna laugh at it because I'm doing the work. Like, I understand manifestation isn't just mindset work. It's also regulating my nervous system. It's also learning to have emotional intelligence. It's also learning to have faith in the universe. It's also learning to think, speak, feel differently. Like, there's a lot of moving pieces in manifestation. So I'm not trying to spiritually bypass on this. Understand that there's also depth that we have to go into. But when we're just talking about this and you're doing all of these things as well, that's when a fear-based thought comes up and you can just laugh at it because you're like, okay, but like, why would I even think this? Like, that was old me. The old me that was worried. The old me that was taught that you have to fear about everything that could go wrong. You have to worry. I always tell my clients and my students that worrying is a prayer to the universe for what you don't want to manifest. And because you are so concentrated on what you don't want, and there's such a high emotional charge, that's why it almost always manifests, because you are reverse manifesting. You're manifesting what you don't want. If you understood that that's how the manifestation works, but you flipped it in reverse and you instead said, okay, well, what if I only focus on the reality that I really want? What if I get really specific on what I want to manifest? What if I allow myself to, at the same time while I'm thinking this, to feel into the reality where I have it already, the reality where best case scenario is always happening, where I am the luckiest girl, where I'm the main character, where everything is always working out for me. I understand that I'm the only one manifesting. Like, where another place where I see a lot of people going wrong is they're like praying to the universe to give them something that they're not deciding on. Manifestation is you. Like, you're the one that's creating this whole thing. If you haven't decided, if you're not certain, if you're not convicted in it, that's when the manifestation isn't going to come in. You can't be wishy-washy in your manifestation. You need to know what the fuck you want. You need to get very clear on what that looks like, what that feels like, what that experience would actually feel like in your body, and then you need to show up that way. You need to show up like the version of you who has the manifestation. The version of you who has the manifestation already, they aren't talking about how it's not here yet. They aren't worrying that it's not going to happen. They aren't wondering how they're going to get from A to Z. The version of you who has the manifestation already, they're fucking excited. They are out living their best life. They are talking about how grateful they are for having it when they don't have it yet, because they know that they are going to have it so quickly because they feel it inside. And this is where a lot of people just keep themselves like this hamster in the wheel where they're running, and they're doing all the manifestation methods and they're reading all the books and they're consuming all of the content, the podcasts, the YouTube videos, the TikToks, but they aren't actually changing who they're showing up as. They aren't changing how they're feeling every single day. They aren't changing the thoughts that they're thinking. They aren't changing how they're interacting with the universe and with life. The version of you who has the manifestation already would never entertain a thought of it's not going to happen because they already have it. You have to realize that you have to normalize the feelings and normalize the life and the reality of you having the thing before you have the thing. You have to think the thoughts that align with you already having the thing, the gratitude, the excitement, the, oh my God, this is my life. Like, you have to feel that and think that before you have the manifestation. You have to speak that way before you have the manifestation. A lot of people, because we've been programmed in this matrix where it tells you that you can talk about something when you have it, you can't talk about it when you don't have it, like you have it. Like, why? Why not? You're not lying, because you truly know and believe that this is what you want from your life. You truly know and believe that it's available for you. You truly know and believe that it is on its way to you because you've already seen it in your mind. You've already felt it in your body. You are 100% all the fuck in on this manifestation. Of course, this or something better, you allow the universe to bring it in divine timing. You allow it to come into a way that's going to surprise and delight you. Like, you don't need to force all of the moving pieces, but you do need to get you. You need to get you 100% on board with the manifestation. That means how you're acting all day long. That means how you're thinking all day long. That means how you're speaking all day long. And here's the thing, right? If one whole day of doing this feels like it's too much, feels like it's too much pressure, feels like it's too exhausting, feels like it's so out of the norm for you, then remember that this is the moment. It's happening right now. So if 24 hours or if a week or if a month of doing this like is too much for you, then stop adding the time to it, because time is an illusion. I want you to just know that this right now, who you're being right now, how you're speaking right now, how you're talking right now, how you're moving right now, this is what matters. This is what's manifesting you. That's why we always say in manifestation, it's not about what you want, it's about who you are. So instead of trying to get yourself like really stressed out about trying to be this whole different version of you when it's so like unnatural for you right now. I just want you to realize that every moment is a moment for you to exercise your free will. And in every moment, you have an opportunity to shift. So if you think a negative fear-based thought, it doesn't have to ruin your whole day, right? This is why I always tell you that consciousness is the most important thing in manifestation, because if you're unconscious while manifesting all day long, you're going to be unconsciously thinking about all of these negative beliefs. You're going to be unconsciously building these fear-based stories. You're going to be talking about the things that you don't want. But here's the thing. The second that you notice, this is why consciousness is key, right? Because your subconscious mind is projecting 95% of your reality out based on your previous beliefs and your previous experiences. But you have to say, if thinking this and believing this has gotten me to where I want to be, and this isn't what I want to live in, this isn't the desired reality I want to experience, then what's the common denominator? Me. So what has to shift? Me. And when I shift, everything will shift around me to match me. So here's the thing is, anytime you notice that you start thinking a negative thought, anytime you notice that you start telling a fear-based story, anytime that you notice that you assign negative meaning to something, anytime you consciously observe yourself going into a negative orientation, you get to say, wait a minute. It's called a pattern interrupt in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. When you no longer are going to keep going down the fear, the worst case, it's not working, and the worry. I call it the doom spiral, because once you go down that, it's like your energy goes down, your mindset goes down, the stories come in, the worst case scenarios come in. But here's the thing, right? If you just notice that you're thinking it, if you just notice that you're speaking that way, if you just notice that you're feeling that way, here's the thing. A lot of people will come into my containers, or they'll come into mentorship with me, or they'll come into my comments and they'll be like, well, Alexa, like, how do I notice when I have a limiting belief? And I'm like, what does that belief make you feel like in your body? Because there's a feedback loop between what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And if you're feeling disempowered, if you're feeling scared, if you're feeling worried, if you're feeling doubtful, that does not feel good. It doesn't feel good, so that doesn't have to be your truth. Truth is relative, and everywhere, in every instance, in every occasion, there is someone out there who doesn't believe the same thing as you, and they're experiencing a different reality. So that means you get to try on their beliefs. That means that you get to shift how you believe, how you move, how you feel. But you need to be consciously aware of who you're being in the moment. Because if you're conscious and you notice that a fear-based thought comes up, let's talk about money, because that's what I love to use as an example, because it's such a tangible example. If you want to manifest money, but then you notice throughout the day that you've started talking about the lack of money, or you started worrying about a bill, or you started worrying about like the holidays are coming up, like, oh my God, how am I going to pay for all of this? That doesn't feel good to you. It's going to cause a lot of dysregulation in your body. But if you say, wait a minute, I'm talking about lack and I don't want lack. Lack is literally an illusion. So why am I focusing on lack? Why am I feeding my attention into lack, which is a negative vibration, right? If you just say, wait a minute, this isn't what I want to be my experience anymore. I don't want to have money to be a limited resource. I don't want to keep talking about lack. I don't want to feel this way with money. I don't want to feel disempowered when it comes to money anymore. And then you say, okay, so then that means that right now in this moment, I'm going to change what I'm talking about. I'm going to change how I'm feeling. I am going to shift in this moment right now. And if you don't know how to do that, because then the thing that you're probably about to comment right now is, Alexa, but I've never been wealthy and I don't know how to feel wealthy. Zip it. I don't entertain your victim frequencies, because I'm going to call you out in your blind spots. That's my potency as a mentor and a teacher. You know how to feel wealthy, and if you're going to tell me, but I've never experienced abundance of money, here's the deal. I want you to go on social media. I want you to tune into a show where wealthy people are. I want you to find someone out there who has a shitload of money that like wouldn't ever feel lack, wouldn't ever talk about lack, wouldn't believe in the inflation bullshit that they're selling you on the news. I want you to say, pick your favorite fucking rich person and say, what would they think here? How would they feel here? If you don't know how to feel that way yourself, if you don't know what you would believe, 1, get a mentor, 2, get into a program, but 3, find somebody. Find somebody else who is wealthy, who has an abundance of fucking money, and model them. That is one of the biggest things from NLP. Tony Robbins, which I'm sure you all know about because he's like the fucking GOAT of personal development. He went through NLP and he didn't even finish it. But what he took out of it and what he teaches in the majority of his seminars is modeling. Hey Sonny, you can find somebody out there and you can start modeling them. You don't even need to know them, because here's the thing is then you'll use another excuse. Well, I don't know any wealthy people. Stop with the excuses. I want you to find evidence of somebody else who's living in a different experience. And if it's not money, love, whatever it is, find somebody who has what you desire, who's already normalized it, who has this as like it's just a matter of fact in their life, the money, the love, the success, the house, the car, whatever it is. And I want you to say, if I was them, how would I be thinking right now? How would I be feeling? You have to change who you've been and who you're being. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to find somebody else that you can model and anchor into their beliefs and their reality. Because if you keep believing the beliefs that you've always believed, if you keep feeling the way you've always felt, that's when manifestation feels hard for you. And I know that people are getting fucking exhausted and tired because of all of the manifestation methods that are on TikTok and all of the different ways to manifest. But one, I need you to realize we are content creators. If we create manifestation content, we have to be creating it. I would argue I'm probably one of the only ones that doesn't teach you manifestation methods because they're bullshit. You're putting too much emphasis on it and you're not putting enough emphasis on you. If you just focused on what the fuck you thought about all day long, what you spoke all day long, what you felt into all day long, who you identified as all day long, every single day, and you just shifted. There's no blame, game, shame, like, oh no, I started thinking the fear. You notice that you went out of alignment, get back on track. Like that's how you rewire your mind. That's how you regulate your nervous system. That's how you recode your cellular DNA. Those are the 3 pillars to my psyche manifestation method. It takes consistency, it takes dedication, it takes repetition. The majority of people who feel depressed and disappointed and stressed out and feel like manifestation doesn't work for them, it's because they aren't going into the depths of their psyche and they aren't changing. And if you don't change, your reality won't change. Do you like that? My nails are tippity tapping. Roll with the emphasis. But you have to understand, like, manifestation feels fucking hard when you're acting like a fear-based human that only entertains thoughts of fear, lack, scarcity, doubt, worry. That's when manifestation feels fucking hard. And that's just a clear indication you're not doing the personal development work. And that is the foundation of manifestation. But what you have to realize is every moment is an opportunity for you to shift. Every moment is an opportunity for you to show up differently. Every moment you get to shift what you're focusing on. Is it a positive thought? Is it a positive feeling? Is it a positive story? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel good to your soul? Does it feel like, oh my God, this is possible to me? Because keep going. That's the direction that you want to be going in. If it feels disempowering, it feels like I'm stuck, it feels like I'm trapped, it feels like nothing's working, no. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go. You have gone off the rails. Like you're driving down the road of the matrix and you cannot have, I say this all the time, but I just don't think enough people are like landing in this. You cannot have 1 foot in the matrix and 1 foot in the vortex because you have been programmed to operate in the matrix. And if 1 foot is in the matrix, that foot is always going to win because your subconscious is manifesting 95% of this. So you have been programmed. I'm just going to say this as everyone because 99.9% of us have been programmed to operate in the matrix. And so if you keep having 1 foot in the matrix and then you keep trying to manifest and get into the vortex and do all these manifestation methods and trying to get into the vortex, it's not about trying. There actually is no trying. It's about being, doing, feeling, thinking. Repeat. You don't have to try to manifest. That's actually just going to cause resistance because trying means that you are operating from the feelings and thoughts and the state that you don't have it. That's lack. That's negative. That is an illusion. I'm going to move you guys because the sun is starting to creep out. It's been pouring rain all day, hence me having no makeup on, and I've been out in the rain all morning. So like, what's my hair doing? Who knows? All right, let me look at some of these comments. Do you need a spiritual business to be in the vortex? That is such an amazing question. And no. So here's what I will say about that. First of all, I do truly believe that you're going to get to a point where you start doing this work and you are not going to want to work for somebody else, and you're going to want to have your own business. Your business does not have to be spiritual. So you could be somebody that absolutely loves fashion. You could be somebody that absolutely loves fitness. You could be somebody that absolutely loves cleaning. Like, there's literally, follow your passions. Your passions are going to always expand you and excite you, right? Your business, one, doesn't have to be spiritual for you to be spiritual. Two, you technically don't have to be an entrepreneur to be in the vortex. Three, and this is key. So I want you to hear me on this. And this is what I did, you guys. Like, if you know my story, I worked for the New York State government for 8 fucking years. When you are working for someone else, when you are working in a job that you don't love, when you're working for somebody that you have a micromanaging boss, you have a lot of negative people, there's a lot of toxicity. And I love you, but you need to hear this. Your ego is going to tell you that you can't be positive and you can't be in the vortex and you can't be spiritual because of everyone around you. Now, if we're going to look at quantum physics and understand that you are the one creating your reality, you need to understand that if you keep allowing your ego to make excuses for how you get to feel and how you get to think and how you get to show up, especially when the story behind that is, I need to pay my bills and I need to go to work every day, so I can't change. Like, you have to understand, when we drill that down, that is your ego not wanting you to change, because that is the prime directive of your ego, right? Your ego your brain is primal. So it doesn't want you to change your surroundings, because then it has to look for bears. Where are the bears going to come from? When you're comfortable, you're like, all right, I know the bear could be there. I know it could be there, but we're good. Like, I know. So you're not in this fight or flight, because your ego is like, well, we're good here. But here's the thing. You need to stop allowing your ego to drive. You have to start allowing your conscious awareness to drive. And the thing is there is no better opportunity for you to anchor into being a positive human being than when you are surrounded by a bunch of negative people. When you are at a workspace that is negative, where there's toxic people, where there's gossiping, where there's low vibrational frequencies, that is the perfect place for you to do the work. It is the perfect place for you to master yourself, because at the end of the day, y'all are giving way too much attention to everyone else in your life. You're giving way too much attention to other people. Like, there's just no other way to say it. It doesn't matter what Susie says. It doesn't matter what Joe is talking about. It doesn't matter what the people around you are saying, how they're feeling, how they're moving. Even if you're an empath, right? Doesn't fucking matter. What matters is, who are you being while you're around those people? Who are you being in every moment? And this is the thing where I feel like a lot of people just like don't understand how deeply ingrained like the ego is, and how much personal development work goes into manifestation. But it's like, when you aren't living in your desired reality, and it doesn't necessarily even have to be work, but when you aren't living in your desired reality, you have to realize that everything and everyone around you is a teacher. Everyone around you is teaching you how to become the version of you that you were born to be. So you have to stop being like, well, my mother is negative and my sister doesn't support me and I work next to the most negative woman in the world. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is the fact that you are giving your attention to those people, you are giving your energy to those people, and you're not learning the lesson. And the lesson is, you get to decide who you are, period. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what your circumstances are. What matters is that you are extracting the wisdom from the circumstance, deciding. This is the biggest thing in manifestation. Besides being conscious, you got to fucking decide. It's not about being wishy-washy. Fucking decide what you want and who you're going to be. And then show up like that. every time something doesn't go right, it's because there's a lesson for you. So are you going to bitch and complain and moan about your circumstances and get super hyper attached on what's not working? Or are you going to say, what's the lesson here? Why did my soul put me in this situation? Why did I manifest this happening? What do I need to learn? Have I outgrown this place? Am I actually showing up as the version of me that I desire to be? Because here's the thing, right? I've got to master duality. And when you understand that everything isn't going to be picture perfect, and right, like here's the thing is, it's so fucking easy for you to think positively when everything's going right. It's so fucking easy for you to feel amazing when everything's working out. But who are you when it's not? Full stop. Who are you when things are not working out for you? Because that version of you that you are in those moments, that's the version that needs the lesson. That's the version of you that needs to be shedded, needs to be integrated, that needs to be looked at. You cannot manifest your dream life and show up as the version of you that you desire to be circumstantially. You have to master uncircumstantial power, which means it does not matter what is happening outside of me. It matters who am I in the moment, every single moment. And it's not about how everyone is you pushed out, because that's so egotistical. It's about saying, I am here for a reason, and my soul asked for me to be here. This is a part of my divine story. So what is the lesson? What is the wisdom? Because the only way you're going to break a pattern is by being aware that it is a pattern, having pattern recognition, and then saying, okay, what's the lesson that I have to learn here? Who do I need to become? Here's the thing, right? What is the area in my life that I need to strengthen? If you just started asking yourself that question, when you're in a pattern especially, the fucking floodgates of wisdom would pour open to you. Because then you wouldn't be playing the, nothing ever works out for me, everything goes wrong. No, honey, victims do not manifest. So we're not playing in the victim frequency anymore. We are saying, we're getting curious. And we're saying, if I keep manifesting this thing and it's the opposite of what I want, if this keeps happening to me, if I keep showing up in this way, like when you just notice what's happening and you say, wait a minute, what am I not learning? Like, what part of me do I need to strengthen? What part of me do I need to really look at? What beliefs are here that are supporting this, that are no longer supporting the life that I want to live? When we stop trying to scratch the surface with these manifestation methods and understand that manifestation is embodiment. So when you understand the energy that you're embodying throughout the day, then you understand, oh, okay, I see why my psyche, my subconscious manifested this, because if I didn't see it, if I wasn't feeling it outside of me, I wouldn't have been aware that it was in me the whole time. This was something that I've been carrying and not looking at. And this is the thing, right? Shadow work is so important in this. And shadow work isn't inner child healing, because that's something that you do once, twice, maybe a few times. But that means you have to go back to your childhood, and then you're never actually looking at the adult you, though, right? Like, so it's like that it actually limits your spiritual growth if the only thing in shadow work that you understand and are doing is inner child healing. There's nothing wrong with it, and it should absolutely be done, but it's like 5 times tops. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that you have to keep coming back to. Real life shadow work is taking accountability, is being real. It's really fucking gnarly. You have to say, this situation fucking sucks, and I manifested this. So why? Why did I manifest this? What lesson haven't I been learning? What have I been ignoring in myself? What belief is like right in front of my fucking face and I keep being unconscious to it? Because here's the thing, right? The more times you experience something that is undesired in your reality, the more it's almost impossible for you to ignore it, right? And so it's not about hyper focusing on what's going wrong, but it's about being super fucking conscious of, why am I creating this? Like, what part of me, what part of my psyche, what part of my soul, what part of me is saying, look at me? Look at me. Because just like when there's a child and they're afraid of a monster under the bed, if the child is just afraid and afraid and afraid, it's going to get worse, right? But if you get the child on their knees and you say, just look under the bed. There's nothing there. Look under the bed. They are not only facing their fear, they're seeing. I don't know, what was I afraid of? It's a shoe. It's a stuffed animal. There's nothing there. This is what ends up happening with our psyches. Like, so many people are so afraid to sit with themselves because they've been at war with themselves forever, because they've been raised in a society that teaches you to be at war with yourself, because if they teach you to be at war with yourself, you'll never know and embody the divinity that is inside of you. And then you're uncontrollable and you're unfuckwithable at that point. You're super controllable when you're out of your power, and fear takes you out of your power. But looking at the place where you've been avoiding, opening up that closet where you keep putting your skeletons, the worst thing that's going to happen is some of your skeletons are going to come out. Okay. And now you've got the tools to look at them. Now you've got an understanding. Now you've taken yourself out of the painful experience and you can see it with a different lens. There's no harm in doing that. I say that with an asterisk. Like, if you're not versed in shadow work, I would highly recommend getting a mentor like me or someone to work with, or a program or something. Like, don't just do this. If you've come from, here's what I'll say about that. If you come from a very traumatic past, as someone who's a trauma certified, like who's been through trauma certifications, I don't want you to go through the depths of your trauma without having somebody to teach you how to do this, because you'll just re-traumatize yourself and make it worse. But if you haven't experienced a bunch of trauma with a capital T, then there's no harm. You're only going to learn and extract wisdom so that you can grow. You came here to grow. You came here to expand. But are you allowing yourself to grow? Are you allowing yourself to expand? Or are you continuously matching the energy of the circumstances that you're in? Because that's when it feels exhausting to manifest. That's when it feels like the manifestations aren't coming in. That's when it feels like it's just never working for me. What if you instead took on the perspective of, it's always working for me? This is the second to last video I posted. It's so much easier now that I'm only posting one video a day to be like, when did I post this? But so the one that says you're always winning. If you just changed your perspective to, I am always winning, I'm either getting the manifestation or I am learning the lesson that I needed to learn so that way I could become the person who has the manifestation. Like, how good does that feel? I have said that so many fucking times, and every time I say it, it still just lights up these sparkly feelings inside of me. I don't know how to feel explain it other than sparkly, because it just feels like energy crystallizing in my body. You're always winning. You are always winning. You are either getting the manifestation, okay, fucking cool, or you're learning the lesson to become the person who gets the manifestation. So I would argue that one's even cooler, right? Because material things can come and they can go. And material things can give you a dopamine hit, but it's not actually going to change you. But when you change you, so much so that you're not reliant on the manifestation, the physical manifestation to come in, you're actually doing it so that you can meet yourself, so that you're no longer at war with yourself, so that way that you can actually feel good in your body, so that way you can fall in love with the journey of becoming, of evolving, of ascending. That's when you wake up every single day and you're like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. I don't care if things don't work out for me, because that's just a perspective that I'm no longer carrying. It's always working out for me. My highest self is always feeding me these little energetic breadcrumbs that if I just start following and stop trying to logically overanalyze and rationalize the fuck and make pros and cons lists, if I just start tuning in, opening up my channel to receive, if I just start meditating more, if I start tuning into my authority in human design, tuning into my intuition, if I just realize that the breadcrumbs it's not gonna fall from the sky. You want to manifest the love of your life. Go here at this time. Da, 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 da. It's not going to manifest like that. It's going to be like, go to this gym today. It's not going to make logical sense. And like, here's the thing, right? I always say logic blocks magic. We've got to stop living logically. We weren't meant to. If you're familiar with the human design system, the main intention of that system is to get you out of your head and into your body. If you stopped living in your head so much and you started living in your body more, girl, you would be so fucking magnetic to everyone and everything that people that you've known forever will be like, what? Like, what did you just start doing? Like, can you give me the smoothie recipe that you're drinking? Can you like tell me what book you're reading? Can you tell me what you changed? And you'd be like, yeah, I actually just stopped cockblocking myself from being who I was born to be. I actually just realized that my mind is a maze that is programmed to lie to me. And so I just stopped playing there all day long. I actually just started falling in love with myself and falling in love with this journey of life and falling in love with this creation that I'm molding day in and day out, instead of being like, I need to manifest money by this time. I need to manifest a partner by this date. And I need this and da da da. Nope. You've got everything inside of you. You have everything inside of you. Your mind is what's going to tell you that you don't have it. So stop listening to your mind. Start tuning into your heart. And if you're new here, welcome to my fucking world. You ask me one question and I will answer for like 33 fucking minutes, and we will go like from the depth of science to manifestation to spirituality to evolution. Like, I don't play and like, I'm just a manifestation coach. No, honey, because that's not going to help you. That's like limiting yourself. And in human design, I'm a manifesting generator. So you can't box me in. It's not going to happen. I will teach you all of the things and give you very long answers, because here's the thing, right? Everyone that's here right now is here for a purpose. And what you're getting out of this might not be the same that somebody else is getting out of this. And even if you're not asking a question, you're going to get something that your highest self was leading you to. This live, these questions, my answers, these are part of the energetic breadcrumbs. So like, just realize how serendipitous it all gets to be, and stop trying to like force and micromanage and say, well, I need to visualize for 15 minutes a day, and I need to 369 method this, and then I need to do the phone call method, and then I got to do the whisper method. Are we like method exhausted? Because I don't even teach methods, and I'm fucking exhausted from all the questions I get about methods and all of the videos I see about methods, because like I am a mentor, a spiritual teacher and mentor, and I'm a business mentor. So I have to study the industry as well, and I'm exhausted. So that's why I like y'all. I'm a different breed over here. I'm going to give you all the things. We're going to talk about all the things. I don't gatekeep it all. If you want to get into my membership where you get access to all my programs and you get a monthly group coaching call with me, cool. If you don't want to, my podcast will change your life for free. My YouTube videos will change your life for free. My TikToks will change your life for free. Like, guaranteed. So you get to play at whatever level you want to play at, but I'm going to treat y'all like you're a paying client of mine, and my clients know they better strap the fuck in, because we go in places. We go in places. All right, let me like scroll up because there's a million comments. And this is also the thing. You can drop comments and I will get to them. I just teach, preach, and Kay, hey girl, hey. I just came at the right time. Always. You're always being supported. Why do I love seeing lives where people are drinking coffee? It's so cozy. Here's the thing is I'm literally holding my coffee. Like, you know how people like record videos and they're holding their coffee? I cannot, because I am 98% Irish and my hands be moving. But if I don't hold the coffee and feel the warmth in the coffee, because what if I take in one sip? I will make, like, this is my toxic trait, is I will make a hot drink, coffee or tea, and then I will do a live and talk just happens and no drinkity drink. So I have to hold it to remind myself your coffee is still warm. It's getting colder, but that's why I'm holding on to it. But isn't it cozy? I'm in a cabin in the Adirondacks. It was pouring and now it's snowing. Like cozy vibes. I am not inundated because that makes it seem negative. I am home for the first time in 2 years. And so there's a lot of family events. There's a lot of like family things, which is amazing and great. I can't even tell you, it's been a whirlwind. So like today I'm like, I'm not doing my makeup until later when we do all of the family things. I am going to sit in my hoodie with my coffee, and I got both dogs that I'm not going to give attention to because they're good and they're sleeping right now. I got them, but I'm like dog mom in the Adirondacks, like fucking living my best life. But cozy vibes is like where I'm at because I've been in warm weather for 2 years. And so cozy like wasn't really a thing. It was just fucking hot. 24/7. That's the thing. It is. It's a 24/7 dance. And don't get exhausted by it. Just tune in the moment. Because that's the thing is when we take the time out of it, it's an illusion anyway. This is the thing, right? A lot of people put pressure on themselves in this moment right now. And that is the worst thing that you could do, right? Because what does pressure do? On a mental level, it makes your amygdala go on override, which is a stress response. In your nervous system, it dysregulates your body. On an energetic level, and that puts you in a state of fear. On an energetic level, you're contracting. And so all of that is shifting towards lack in the moment. And what are you manifesting from? This moment right now, right? So the thing about it is don't get exhausted about doing the work 24/7. Don't get exhausted or frustrated or burnt out or disappointed about needing to have something by a certain time. Trust that it's going to show up. You're good. And instead, just take the timeline out of it and start showing up in the moment. What does your soul call for you to do right now? What is on your heart to say, to do? What is your intuition leading you to? What feels good for your body? Like, if you can just start tuning into you, like what you need in the moment, what feels good to you, and we're all different, and it's seasonal change. If you're a woman, you're cyclical. So it's like, understand that it's not about needing to do all of these things. It's not about focusing on the timeline, especially because we're at the end of the year, right? I feel like that's why the divine is having me talk about this, is because this is the time where a lot of people put pressure on themselves because it's like, oh my God, I didn't manifest what I wanted to in 2023. I feel like I'm in the same place I was in 2022. Oh my God, is 2024 going to look like this? I just wanted it to feel different now. I wanted it to be different. Oh my God, I got to go to Christmas and my family's going to talk about how I'm still single, or I don't have children yet, or I'm still working at this job and I haven't gotten a pay raise. And it's like, how is that helpful? How is that helpful? How is that helpful? It isn't, right? It isn't. Time is an illusion. I was watching House of Hana, I think is the name of the guy. I like to give credit where credit is due, but I was watching him and he's like a spiritual teacher and like focuses on the Maui tradition, anything and everything. And he was talking about how I just saw rainbows in the snow falling and that totally just distracted me, but like totally a synchronicity. He was talking about, what was I talking about? It'll come back to me. I totally lost it, but I'll come back to that. The Gregorian, it'll always come back. The Gregorian calendar. He was saying how that was when like we lost a lot of our power, was when the Gregorian calendar was introduced. And so if you understand how like dates actually work, the beginning of the year, the beginning of the new year is a Gregorian date. It's completely made up. It's not backed in astrology. It's not backed in spirituality. It was just manufactured and created, just like the 365-day year, just like the 8-hour workday. Like it's all created, right? Manufactured. And technically it isn't until like April that the new year actually starts. So if that gives you some resolve, just like be like, this is just a fucking man-made thing. It's created. Stop taking it so seriously. But you have to just come back to the moment, right? Like the moment right now is the only one that matters. It's the only one that you're manifesting from. Who you're being right now is all that matters. It doesn't matter what happened even 5 minutes ago. You cannot fully control what's going to happen tomorrow, but you can dictate what will happen tomorrow by who you're being right now. So stop, like just take a deep breath, regulate your nervous system, come back to homeostasis, and just start allowing your body to tune into what feels good to you, because that is what matters. Oh, I forgot that my mom was coming up to the cabin, so she just got here. So hold on, let me move. Oh, am I gonna have a place to put you guys? You know what? We're gonna sit on a messy bed. I always make my bed first thing, but I had to do a bunch of stuff this morning. Okay, so I'm going to hold you guys. So let's see how long I can stay on here. But let's answer some more questions. What to do if you do not feel worthy of success? One, understand that that's normal, right? Like, it's normal to not feel worthy, period. Because you're raised in a society that teaches you to not feel normal. I'm like shaky McShakens and random now. So let's put you guys down. So that's normal. First of all, it's normal. Because the thing is like when you stop making it wrong, that's when you can actually do something about it, right? So stop making it wrong that you don't feel worthy of success, and instead start asking questions. Why don't I feel worthy of success? In what areas don't I feel worthy of success? Who told me that I wasn't worthy of success? Is it the ultimate truth that I'm not worthy of success? Start asking questions, right? Because your definition of not feeling worthy of success is completely different than somebody else's definition of not feeling worthy of success. So what you have to do is like this comes back to like tuning into your intuition. Is it's not about other people's definition of like worthiness and not worthiness. Like, no, it's about you. And then it's like, okay, but is success available for me? Yes. Is success something that I desire? Yes. Is success available for other people? Yes. Have I seen people that are wildly successful? Yes. Is it, and here's the thing, like here's something that I think a lot of people don't realize is a lot of people attribute success to more responsibility. A lot of people contribute that to money too. But what if you dissolve that link? And what if you found people that were successful that actually had less responsibility because they had teams, they delegated, they actually didn't have to do as much on their own because the success rewarded them money, which rewarded them freedom. So the thing is like there's a lot to go in, and because like this isn't like a one-on-one session, which you can book in my website or like get into a container with me. Those are the things that I would tell you to start looking at. First, getting curious of why that fear or that unworthiness is there. Look at like what the root of that is, and then like don't get stuck in that though, right? That's where a lot of people get stuck, especially with money mindset work. And that's why you guys know, like, I don't teach money mindset, I teach money work, because it's everything is mind, body, soul. So it's not about getting stuck in the root cause of it, but it's then saying, okay, and then what's the opposite? It's about looking at like under the bed, right? Looking at the fear. So, okay, those are the fears that I was just looking at. Now, isn't it available for me to be successful? Yes. Other people are successful. Yes. And then it's about building evidence. I always say putting evidence in your evidence bank that it is possible for you, that it is available for you. So, and here's the thing too, right? Like a lot of people who are successful people, they were scared at first, but they moved scared. That's the thing, is you've got to be able to move and do things while you're scared, so that way you're still showing up for yourself and showing up for success and doing the personal development work while you're building the business or while you're climbing the corporate ladder. You know, like it's never about just doing the one thing. It's about how can you be aware of who you've been and do the personal work and the mindset work and all of that while actually doing the action and building and showing up and playing in the 3D realm, right? How do I get back into alignment after, I love that because my podcast is called Getting Into Alignment. How do I get back into alignment after reacting to 3D? Find myself worried I ruined the manifestation. Great question. And one, you can't ruin it. Like, you're the creator of it all. You can't ruin anything. So delete. That story is bullshit. It's based in lies. Delete it. 2, you can't beat yourself up about reacting in the 3D, right? You're human. It happens. And you can now look at it and say, okay, what happened and how did I react? Like, what were the feelings that came out? What were the thoughts? What were the stories? And is that how I desire to show up? Yes or no? And so the thing is, it's like sometimes we don't realize our attachment style, because attachment styles show up in all manifestations. It's not just love, but sometimes we don't realize the attachment style, and what we haven't really worked through on our own until we react, right? So what if you reframed that reaction as something negative and you saw it as something positive, because now you're like, okay, one, I can give myself major props because even though I reacted in a way that I didn't want to react, I was aware that I reacted. Do you know that 98% of people aren't even aware that they're reacting? Like they don't even have that level of self-awareness. They don't even have that much consciousness. So one, I'm so proud of you. Two, now you get to look at it and you get to say, okay, what situation happened? How did I react? How do I desire to respond in those situations going forward? And now you get to start building the person that you're going to be and say, you know what? The next time something like this happens, because you guys have to realize you're never being tested by the universe. You're just given opportunities for you to show up as the version of you that you said you were going to be. So now when that situation presents itself again, you get to pause for a moment instead of reacting because you're not so overly attached to it. And then you get to say, this is how I'm going to show up. This is a beautiful way for me to show myself in the universe that I have been doing the work, that I am changing, that I am able to go out in the world and I am able to mold these experiences, aka I'm able to mold myself to show up differently in the experiences. And this is where a lot of people drop the ball because they're able to stay in the energy, they're able to be in alignment when they're in their car listening to their podcast or while they're at home doing their morning meditation or when they're at night doing their night routine. But then while they're at work, when they're interacting in the 3D world, that's when they just keep dropping the ball. So it's about how can I pull the energy and the mindset and the frequency from who I desire to be into this moment and realize that it's just an opportunity for you to embody the version of you that you desire to be. You can never mess up your manifestation. It's always inside of you, but you can always show up differently. So just show up differently next time. Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. No, I completely disagree with that. Anyone can be told what it is. People that are asleep and are in the Matrix probably won't take you seriously, but I wouldn't waste my energy, time, or breath talking to somebody about the Matrix who is unconscious because, like, you're just tiring yourself out. Someone can only meet you at the level that they've met themselves. Happy Monday, Alexa. Great to see you. Great to see you too, Sean. Why do I keep seeing 1111, 111, 222, 555? What does that mean? So it's just an example of a synchronicity. It just shows you that you are in alignment, that you are more consciously aware. And if you want to know like the meaning of it, then you look at the numerology of that number. I have a podcast episode called Numerology 101 where I just like, there's no fluff. I just tell you what every single number means. So if you want to know what the number means, like it's about the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. Like the numerology of that number means like is going to give you the meaning. It doesn't matter how many numbers, angel numbers are showing up. But the other thing I want to say with this is a lot of people put way too much power in the angel numbers and in the signs from the universe. And that's when you give your power away. So when I see synchronicities, when I see angel numbers, I just like smile and I'm like, thank you, universe, for showing me I'm on track. It's not like I'm not being like, oh my God, what does this mean? I need to know what this means. This must be a message. It's just like a wave from the universe, like, hey, you're doing the work. It doesn't need to mean anything. But if you want to know what it means, look at the numerology of it. But also like, don't give your power away to the number. It's just a number. You call outside the matrix the vortex. So Abraham Hicks created that term, the vortex term, and I just use it because it is the perfect example of the opposite of the matrix. It's not that I typically use that term, but just for the ease of understanding in this conversation, it's just easy to have two terms that are just understood. So the vortex is just where infinite possibilities and potentiality and all power and love and abundance exists. And the matrix is the 3D world that you're living in. Do you have a video on the vortex? I do not. Again, I would go, same person asking, but again, I would just look at Abraham Hicks if you're wanting to know. They do have a great book that I love called Getting Into the Vortex. But like I just summarized, that's basically what the vortex is. Yes, I get this going through this now. Yes. And that's the thing, is like that saying that they say hindsight is 2020. It's the same thing with spiritual development and this work. Like, you're going to have more awareness and more understanding the more that you go through it, the more depth that you have, the more that you allow yourself to keep committing to your personal growth and to your evolution. The coffee is so cold now. If you want to learn the lesson, you need an energy. Enough energy is necessary for learning. I wouldn't agree fully with that. So everything is energy. Like, you are energy. It's not created. It's not destroyed. So you don't need energy to learn a lesson. You need conscious awareness and self-awareness. What does it mean when I manifest my baby dad back, but he scheduled the divorce today for Thursday? Here's the thing, you guys, like, you apply meaning. Meaning isn't created in the material world, or like in the world. It's not created. It's manufactured. You are deciding the meaning. It doesn't have to mean anything. You can make it mean everything. So like when people ask, what does it mean? That's a clear indication of me that you're not in your power, because you're looking for someone outside of you to tell you what's happening instead of you deciding how you want it to go. And that's why I feel like so many people